Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
New Star Trek, who dis? Wow, what an adventure! In Star Trek, Prodigy Dal, the funny but we don't know what he is kid, makes a prison break escape with a ragtag crew and a sweet starship, the Protostar, complete with a hologram Janeway and cat boots. Cat boots sold separately.
All right, engage cloak. Sensors say we're right over his house. All right, let's transport him above. We got a lock. Is he on? Wait, Dot, what are you talking about? He's naked. Was he in the shower?
You have to transport his clothes too.
God, he was in the shower. He's dripping wet. Oh my God. Get him a robe, and Dot, go ahead. You're on cleanup duty. Get that water off the transporter deck.
Don't slip.
Wait. Let's go to intership communication. Darnell, can you hear us?
What the heck is going on here?
Sorry, but hey, you're looking good.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. What the heck?
Wow.
Heather, Nathan, is that you?
Yeah, it is. It's sorry about that. We didn't realize you were in the shower, and the Dot says you use a lot of soap.
Yes. Well, you know, I have to use a lot of soap. I need to be clean, and brother's got to take care of himself.
This is true.
Here, take this complimentary bathrobe with the Starfleet logo on the back.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, this is nice.
It's also available in our limited gift shop on Deck 4.
In fact, I will run over there and get you a shirt, the Butler.
I'm keeping both of these. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Nice. Okay, the light is on. Oh my God, we transmitted our preamble again. Okay, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Starfleet Underground. I am Nathan Adams here, captain of this wonderful vessel. You probably already heard about our guest, but we'll get to him as we make our way through the crew. First off, we have our science officer who's quite giddy that there's a naked man in the transporter room. Heather?
Hi. I am not taking pictures. I swear to God, that's not me. That's the Dot.
Okay, we also have our number one over here is our computer guy.
Hey, this is Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy. I'm also the foreign species liaison. What's going on?
And the person that the Pack-Leds had been following us for the last 2 parsecs trying to get because he makes things go is Chief, our engineer.
He is strong.
Yeah, I am strong. Yes, I'm smart. Hi, guys. I'm Rocky Robinson, the engineer of the show and the ship. And just happy to be here, handing out bathrobes for everybody.
Red alarm.
The ship is strong. We live here now.
Yes.
And, of course, we have our guest. Darnell, that's you, unless you're drying yourself.
Oh, hey, how you doing? This is Darnell Davis. I am so happy to be here. You guys caught me a little off guard, but I'm getting myself together. Just hand me a hitchhiker's towel, and I'm ready to go.
Woot woot.
Don't forget, 41.
41?
42.
42, that's right. 42.
That's 42.
I was one off. I didn't want to get copyright. I didn't want to get copyright infringement.
Oh, the only important number in the world. So.
And that tells you how much of a nerds we all are because we knew exactly what he was talking about instantly.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. This is one of the only shows where sci-fi streams will cross.
Right?
I mean, at least we're an enlightened group. We know the meaning of life.
Absolutely.
This is true.
Or at least the answer to the
42.
universe and everything.
As a reminder, this show is being brought to you by Section 31, as well as our Patreon people that thank you so much for joining and supporting the show. You help keep the tribbles spayed and neutered, and also steady tools in order for us to show all of the nudity we have of everyone. And Darnell's may or may not be on there, so you don't know until you let you go ahead and support us.
Again, this is a show that I have to tell my mother not to watch, not to listen to.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for that
this.
preamble, because this show is not for children.
It's also,
or older adults.
And if you're religious, you shouldn't really be listening to us. And if you are, I'm
or
just
you should
going
be
to
praying.
Please. Please, I need it. Thank you.
If you're extremely religious, I will let you know that if you don't sin, that means Christ died for nothing. So go out there and make his
So you're
sacrifice
telling
worth
us all to sin. All right.
it.
Thank you.
Make his sacrifice worth it.
Hey, we're going to Free Cloud.
Nice. We stop off at Ryza first. I need to pick up some things.
What happens on Ryza stays on Ryza.
This is true. And next we have here is corrections. We get any corrections from last week there, number one?
Let me check subspace here. Just 1 second. I don't believe I saw anything earlier, but you never know. Things sneak in. Nope, we are all clear. Flawless performance of last week.
Woo. Ooh, coffee. Thanks, Dot, for bringing the coffee. Outstanding. Hold on.
Yeah, thanks for ignoring me.
Coffee, you know?
No, Dot brought in the coffee, so it worked out well. Thank you.
Moron.
No, if we had corrections, you would have gleefully hopped on that like a sailor on Liberty. So the corrections are good. Next, we're going to go for news. What do you got for us there, Heather?
Hi, Captain. So, unfortunately, we are starting this off with some sad news. Do you guys remember Deep Space Nine, the Bajoran religious leader, Opaka? She was sort of like the villain and everything.
Oh, no, she was a good one. She was actually
She was good?
Yeah, she was
Am I mixing the two up?
Yeah.
I'm mixing the two up.
The other Kai was
the other guy?
Kai.
Kai Wynn was the bad one.
Was kind of the Karen, yeah.
Yeah, that's my fault. I thought it was that one.
That's even worse. We lost a good one. Oh, I'm sorry. She passed away. She passed away and she was 71 years old.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That is sad.
They don't know why, or they're not telling us why, but additional details are not immediately available. But she did pass away, unfortunately, just the other day.
Oh, she goes and joins the prophets now.
Sorry to hear that.
So am I. We give a
To the wormhole she goes.
A moment of silence right now.
And moving on.
Okay, we're back. Now she'll be able to join the Cisco in the wormhole. How about you, Pat? What do you got for us news?
Well, the new Paramount chief, Brian Robbins, said that they are going to be a whole lot more Star Trek coming. They're waiting to see what the success of Prodigy is, but there's possibilities for a new animated Star Trek movie, as well as this one's been put on hold, but the project expected to be based on J.J. Abrams and Matt Shankman, their script for a new Star Trek movie. So we got things coming our way, people.
If they're going to do new Star Trek, they seriously need to give us Section 31 with Giorgio. I am starting to get upset that they're doing other things now.
It's on the board. It's on the board.
It's on there. They're trying to get, from what I understand, they're trying to coordinate with what Michelle Yeoh's schedule and everything is, because she's also...
Oh, well, if that's the case, then I can't be mad about that, because I absolutely love her to death.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. Okay, Rocky, what do you got for us?
Oh, so I'm looking at something coming to the History Channel. It's The Center Seat. It has Gates McFadden involved. She's narrating it. And it's just talking about all the various chapters in history of Star Trek, starting from the actual inception with Lucille Ball and her legendary production company, Desilu.
That is so cool.
They're also going to cover other things like the animated series and the Phase 2 project that never actually was produced, but they're going to talk about it. And they've got lots of cast and crew. Just imagine the cast and crew of Star Trek, because every name is in here. This is going to be great. I've seen a couple preview trailers, and it looks like it's going to have a little zing to it as well. So I'm really excited. Oh yeah, I was I couldn't lay down flat on my face. I couldn't prone. But November 5th, 10 p.m. is going to be the time on the History Channel.
Wow. Now I'm excited about that. That sounds great.
Oh,
Did you get a boner too, Darnell?
Let me check. Nope, not this time. I was just so excited, in my heart. My heart grew like the Grinch. It grew like the Grinch. So,
A heart boner.
Exactly.
Cool.
You guys are crazy.
Mine
I
just
love you guys. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Okay. Down, boy. Down. Okay.
Is that The Rock? The Rock used to do that all the time. Whoa.
Yeah. So
The Rock says.
yeah, no, Nelly.
When Nathan says that he's got a microscope and tweezers.
No, don't even try it. That's when I'm looking for yours because it gets stuck behind a pubic hair.
Oh, my.
Okay, Darnell, you have any news for us? Or not really, because we kind of grabbed you from the shower.
Yeah, I cleaned my shower yesterday. It's looking pretty good. I'm very excited about that. And
I love that that's your news.
That's my news.
This just in, Darnell's shower is clean.
I don't have any projects coming up, but, like I always say, if you see me on TV, you are watching TV way too hard. But feel free to call your congressman and let them know if you happen to see me, because, this needs to be a holiday whenever that happens. So
all of a sudden, I got the Tangina vibes. The shower is clean.
Well, you also, pro tip, you can use pledge on the walls of your showers to help keep it from getting dirty. However, do not use it on the floor of your showers.
I thought
it would be
that
an
was
accident waiting to happen.
I thought that was the point of sonic showers. You didn't have to clean them. Are you telling me I have to clean my sonic shower? I haven't cleaned it since I got here.
No, we have the dots go in and take care of it because
No wonder why it looks that way. Jesus, guys, you have to tell me this stuff.
the dot takes care of it. At first, they came to me saying that somebody had slaughtered a red-haired tribble. It's like, no, it was her loose hair. So, because when she washes her sonic and her hair, the loose hairs will go on a little collector. And they thought it was
the
a
little
tribble.
things that have been growing in your shower, like get into the ship's computer stuff.
Oh my God.
I'm constantly having to fix it and clean it.
This whole time I thought it was a natural pond with like fungus and like, plants and everything. And I didn't realize that was just because I didn't clean it.
I'm never visiting you guys. I'm never visiting any of you.
My shower's clean.
Okay, Patrick,
I don't know about the other people, but mine is clean.
I was talking to my shower the other day, and then I realized there's no computer in there. I was actually having a conversation with the shower.
That's funny.
Well, all I have to say, my showers are clean.
Good for you. Good for you, sir.
Okay.
Listen, Tangina.
I'll be quiet, man, China. My news today is about the Saturn Awards. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Saturn Awards, but it's about all the sci-fi stuff coming on there. And the news is not only did the Star Trek franchise win big with 3 2021 Saturn Awards, including Best Series, Best Actor, and Supporting Actor. And guess who won? The actor one. Is the guy who we all love.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
Yay!
Doug Jones. He got it for Best Supporting Actor, which is amazing.
And he was just on the last episode of What We Do in the Shadows, too.
Oh, my God. And, of course, Patrick Stewart just won for Best Actor in the television series for Picard. It's his 3rd award.
Awesome.
Wow.
I mean, oh, my God. It's 7 nominations. There was Picard. There was Lisa Briones, Jerry Ryan, and Sequina Martin Green. They all joined in honoring Picard and nominated for the Best Science Fiction Series.
Wonderful.
And it's really I'm just excited about it because despite contrary rumors, the show and Kurtzman and them are not on their way out. So
I heard it was canceled.
So,
Yeah,
I heard
they
that
canceled
too.
it. They fired that Alex guy. And,
but it's going good so far. So that's outstanding news that we have.
Let me just say congratulations to Doug. Doug Jones is the very nicest person,
He is.
no exaggeration, that you will ever meet.
He is.
That's awesome.
Wonderful, kind, loving, giving person that every time I see him, I saw him a week ago. We were at a charity event, which they honored him because he's such a nice person. And again, he is so sweet and so wonderful to talk to. And everyone that comes up to him, he just gives you so much love. I'm lucky to have known him through working with him on different projects, and just from being around our group of people, our Star Trek group of people, that we are lucky to run into him every now and then. Every time, he is just so sweet and kind, and I'm so happy for him because he deserves even more. He deserves even more. But
he's
We love you, Doug.
Yeah,
definitely.
he's extremely talented. Oh my God.
Definitely.
A little bit of history here for those of you that don't know Darnell, or you did not listen to him when we snatched him on, put him on the show last time. Darnell has a history with the Star Trek franchise. Go ahead and explain a little bit of that before we dive into our show.
Years and years ago, I can't count how many years ago, I was lucky enough to just be tall and kind of athletic looking. So they made me one of the many Klingons running around in Star Trek 6, which was a lot of fun. I got to be around, all the original cast, and that was wonderful, including, everyone else that was there, Mark Leonard, and just everyone that was on that cast. It was full of people. It was just beautiful. And so that was, my original time. And then I was on Star Trek Renegades, was it? Yeah, I think it was Renegades. I was Section 31 at the time. I think they've changed the after everything that went down. I think they changed it to something different now. But at the time, it was Section 31. Got to beat somebody up, and which is always nice to beat someone up, get your frustrations out.
On film, it's really nice.
I remember that scene. You looked so friggin' intimidating. I even jumped away from the screen.
So yeah, I've been very happy just to have some fun and get to do those things, and I enjoy what I do. And like I say, if you see me on TV, you're watching too hard, but when you do, say hi to me, and I'm happy to be there.
Little pro tip: Darnell has psychic powers, so if you do wave to him on his TV, he feels a disturbance and a warm hug from the Force, and he'll know you did that. So make sure you wave if you see.
Doesn't everyone have these powers? I thought that's how it worked.
Nathan's
I thought that feeling was something else.
My thing was I was disturbed because I'm watching Dune the other day and I couldn't hear what people were thinking, and I was like, "What's going on? Why can't I hear that?"
It's from '85.
I know.
Remember that, right?
I was like, "Did I lose my powers? What's going on?"
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, we got our wait. I already hit. Rocky had his news, right? You had your news. Everybody had the news. Okay, what do you mean not everyone? I did mine. So everyone's done. So that means it's your turn, Patrick. Patrick,
okay,
break the suction of the chair and let's do it.
Star Trek Prodigy, Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2, Lost and Found, originally aired 10/28/21. Act 1, Brikars, Tellarites, Kazons and Caitians, Vaunukots and Medusans, oh my, and whatever Dal RL is. We find Dal deep in the Delta Quadrant on a prison planet trying to escape, but there's no universal translator, so no one understands squat. His jailer Drednok is looking for Fugitive Zero and wants to know what Dal knows. Dal makes some snarky remark and Dred goes to hurt him. Zero saves the day by cutting the power, unlocking his ankle bracelet, freeing Dal. He runs through the mine straight into a Brikar, causing him to spill their lunch all over themselves. He continues to run, with watchers chasing him. He jumps off the ledge onto a platform thinking he has escaped, says something snarky, and the watchers blast the chain, sending him crashing to the cavern floor. He steals Jankum Pog's, a Tellarite, loader, and is about to make his escape when the gravity chute is cut, and again he crashes to the cavern below. Gwen, a Vaunukot, greets the Kazon, who has a young Caitian child with him. The Kazon offers the Caitian as compensation for being late and not bringing any more orphans and criminals. Gwen steps over her authority, scolding the Kazon, and Drednok reminds her she is not allowed to speak for the Diviner, her daddy. Gwen wants to know why she's translating when Drednok knows every language she does. He tells her the Diviner has a plan for her, of which she knows nothing about.
This was a very interesting and kind of cool start. And yeah, you could see why they wouldn't have a translator, because you don't want the prisoners gathering thoughts and stuff to be able to have a prison break. But clearly this kid is extremely energetic and he wanted to get the hell out of here. However, I will say he's got to be resilient, because when they shot that chain, it's like, oh, wow, our star is dying right off the bat, because, that was pretty well. Didn't he? Oh, yeah, he dropped hard.
He bounced a little.
Yeah, he did.
I loved the fact that the translator wasn't working. That to me was so cool. Just hearing the different languages, hearing everyone trying to speak, and the fact that I thought, well, maybe they just understand each other. No, they didn't understand each other at all. It was really a great way to start. I thought that was really, really good.
I mean, come on, we got a bunch of new species here too. The Brikars and the Bounakats. I think that's how you say it. And whatever Dal is.
Yeah, I like that he's a whatever he is, because nobody knows what he is.
Because we don't know what he is yet. So
No, he's
pretty
like
cool that they have that secret.
And I like the little moment where, what species are you? Isn't it a little personal? It's like inappropriate.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what's your dick size? Excuse me?
Excuse
What?
me?
Oh, excuse me.
Well, I mean, if you're in certain locations, that's a common question.
well, that's true.
San Francisco, Starfleet Academy headquarters.
And I thought it was interesting that this took place in the Delta Quadrant.
Yep.
That was pretty
I thought
cool.
that was
Deep in the Delta Quadrant.
And I thought it was kind of cool.
We're not talking about how deep you go.
Now, did they, I might have missed it. Was it stated that? Because I think I missed that. I was curious about that. I wasn't
It was
sure.
only stated in the memory alpha.
Oh,
Speaking
okay.
of memory alpha, this also happened in 2383. That's what memory alpha says.
And so when is that compared to Voyager?
It would
I
be
wish
after.
I knew. I don't have my list in front of me.
Let
I
me
wish
see
I
here.
did.
Let's see, Star Trek.
I have this whole list. I am so proud of it. And I
She has
have
a
the
big
whole timeline. And I don't have it in front of me. And I'm like, no.
Voyager was 2371 to 2378.
2371 to 2378. So this is only a few years after they came back.
So what did you say this was? 2383?
2383. If it's 78 and then this is 83, that's what, 5 years or 6 years?
Yeah.
Cool.
What I also like about the show is how they're dropping breadcrumbs about this kid. We can talk about that as we progress, but there's definitely something different about him. And what I think is also cool is that we see an enigmatic figure that we don't know who the hell or what it is that appeared like a ninja on a rock off in the distance and then just disappeared. It's like, what? Was that a figment? Did you guys see that? They have no idea what the fuck he said, which is translation.
Yeah, trip a little slower, please. I can't understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Can
that
we
was
talk a
funny.
minute about the animation? Like, I mean, it looked
This was
so
good.
real.
Okay.
Like we're talking. This is Lord of the Rings when they're down in the Goblin tunnels. Like, you know, when they're, I mean, it's like that. That's how real it
blown
looks.
away at this animation stuff because I was actually interested in a bit in animation in the 90s, trying to learn how to do it and get into it. And everything's like computer based now. Instead of drawing it out cartoon style, it's all computer based and all that jazz. So I've been watching over the decades, you know, and I was thinking the Star Wars stuff was looking really, I mean, it started a little rough. It started a little PlayStation-y kind of, and it got better and it got better. And you're like watching shows and it's like, this is pretty good stuff now. This is awesome. Now I'm blown the fuck away because it is all awesome. I can't believe how good this animation is.
It's coming a long way from rotoscope.
Yeah.
I was watching
amazing.
this. The first thing I said was it reminded me of Clone Wars and and the Bad Batch, and which I'm very happy about because I love both of those shows.
Both are phenomenal,
and the look of this is beautiful. So I'm very happy because when I first heard about this, I thought it was just going to be, you know, kiddie looking. I thought it was going, you know, and I even told Nathan, I was like, I thought this was on Nickelodeon. I thought, you know, I didn't know it was going to be on Paramount. And then boom, it's beautiful. It's
and you see the
from
still
look.
images, the still promos are like, oh, I don't know, this is going to be kind of, you know, like animation cartoony. But when you see it in full motion and the scenes that they're building with this, with all the levels of detail, phenomenal
It's
work.
The opening scene with the music and the crystals forming the delta.
Oh, that was slick.
So cool.
Yeah, that was real slick.
Yeah.
I also like when the logo comes up, you see the reflection of all the characters inside the logo, just so faintly. It's so neat.
Oh, I have to watch that
they-
next time.
And I love how they have hints and kind of ways of Voyager's theme song is in it.
Yeah, that was dropped in a little bit
kind
thematically.
of reminiscent. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was pretty good. I
was
really
cool.
enjoyed this opening
I
scene.
thought they were going to break out full Voyager for a second, and that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, you know, so I think it was pretty cool, and they got all the interesting characters. So did we hit every note in this first act there, Pat? There's anything we forgot?
Well, let's see. So,
I mean, it's such an action-packed first act.
It was.
That
It was a
lot. You know, it was a jailbreak, basically.
There are a lot of aliens. We don't know what their species are. This is like the first time we've seen them. And the Tellarite, we've actually seen them before. So we've had Tellarite before. And Tellarite are the humanoid species from the planet Tellar Prime in the Alpha Quadrant. And they are a part of the Federation.
Yeah, and it's interesting seeing them. And we saw the Caitian, too. That was a surprise.
Yeah. Oh, so cute.
A little too young, though. You shouldn't bring him in so young.
No.
Well, come on. The Kazon snatched her from wherever he snatched her from, and
the Kazon are known not to have that level of class that they leave the young kitty cat alone. I mean,
this is the first time in the existence of the Kazon that I ever said, "Oh my God, that Kazon looks cool." Because live action, I don't like the way they look.
Oh my God, their hair.
I think they look horrible. I feel sorry for them as a species. But this art made him look really cool. And I was like, wow, that was really good.
Live action, it's like, oh my God, Becky, look at his hair.
I bet he... So yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed seeing that.
And who is this diviner?
He's got a good voice.
This mystery character, the diviner, that we have not seen quite yet.
And if you ever want to make a female character look kind of exotic or dangerous, and the same with the male characters, for some reason you put them in locks, and you put their hair in locks, and there you go.
I liked her hair.
Yeah, so did I.
Did we have any bagels with that?
No, not the bagels and locks, because no, you don't.
Wait a minute.
It's a Jewish thing.
They used to call them.
I was wondering if Dot gave you your coffee and forgot your bagels or something.
No, they used to call them dreadlocks, but if you think about it, it's a negative connotation because it assumes that anyone you see with that hair you should dread, or else why they call them dreadlocks? So it's actually
I thought it was a punk thing.
No, it's locks. It was made famous by the Rastafarians, and there's a whole big thing about it in Jamaica because they're trying to get them to cut their hair, and which is really unfortunate because that's the symbol of Jamaica. So you get somebody that's identifiable as Jamaican and you want them all to cut their hair. So that's just another thing.
I've been to Jamaica. It's pretty freaking awesome, actually.
Well, it is. It's an amazing place. Okay, so yeah, I agree with you, Darnell. The Kazon looked really cool. And the fact that the language they did I thought was flawless. They must have practiced how to pronounce those words because I would have butchered it. They would have been like, take 17.
I don't know how people, I've never had to do that for anything. And I don't know how people can learn an entire language. I take that back. In Star Trek 6, we did have to learn 3 or 4 words like kill Kirk, and in the trial scene we had to say all these phrases, but these were 3 or 4 words, not entire paragraphs, and interesting, they had the guy that wrote the book on the Klingon language come in and train us to do that.
Wow.
They needed him to come in just because it's that difficult to try and learn a new language. But it was only, like I say, a couple of sentences, kill Kirk and something else, and he's guilty probably or something like that. But to do an entire language like that, or even if it was a real language, if they told me, okay, Darnell, you have to speak Russian tomorrow, I'd be like, what? How do you expect me to do that? But people do it. So, I more power to them. I'm very happy that when people have that kind of talent to be able to do that.
And behind the scenes for The Fifth Element, that language that Mila spoke was a language that the director had made up, the guy who did the film. And he handed her a book of 800 words that she had to memorize and learn so she could speak that language.
No, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's
so
unbelievable.
she learned that language. So that was pretty wild. And she used to talk with him in that language since it was his. So it was really kind of interesting. But you're right. If somebody came up and said, you have to learn this by tomorrow, it's like, could you get someone just to write it out phonetically?
Exactly. I'm sure that's part of the secret, but still, yeah. Still, you have to make it sound decent,
That's true. Complete with accent.
I definitely understood the one thing he did. He spit. And I was like, I know what you're saying there.
It's a gift of his moisture. It's the gift of his moisture.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. Okay, Pat, I guess we could jump to the next.
Okay,
Jump on
Act
it.
2.
Jump on it.
Interrogations and failure to communicate. Where's a her when you need her? Cave-ins and ships. Gwen is summoned to her daddy Solemn and asks if he's upset over the Kazon incident. He's only interested in her knowledge of Dal, whom he believes is in cat boots with Zero. She agrees to find and interrogate him her way, but if she's unsuccessful, Drednok gets him. Drednok asks Solemn why he is hiding his true intentions from her. He responds that he's been hiding what they're searching for, as he does not want to run the risk of the Federation influencing Gwen in a way that would impede his plans. She and her dad are the last of their kind, so the future is hers to determine. Dal is taken from his cell where he hears a voice telling him that he's special and the only one with hope of escape. He's brought before Gwen, who asks him about the escape attempt, to which he responds that he hadn't thought it through and just seized the opportunity to run. Gwen thinks Dal and Zero are in cat boots, since his escape took place at the same time Zero sabotaged the power. He replies smart-assedly that he would help her find Zero if the diviner would free him. Gwen lets him know that Zero is neither a he nor a she, but a Medusan and a telepath. Dal realizes that that is the voice that he heard. Gwen doesn't think he actually knows anything, and the Watchers start to take him away. He pleads that he did talk to Zero and can help find them. She gives him 1 day or be turned over to Drednok. Dal is sent to the northwestern crevasse to look for Zero, where he runs into the same Brikar from earlier. He tries to communicate by drawing pictures, but the Brikar is unconvinced and tosses him mining equipment. Dal throws a rock at him, causing them to charge. Getting my pronouns all mixed up. He accidentally discharged the equipment, causing the cave to collapse. As he's about to be crushed, the Brikar saves him. The boulder turns out to be a huge geode, though there are enough crystals to buy his passage on the Kazon ship. The Brikar diverts his attention to the large starship that has been revealed. How did it get here? And where's the crew, they wonder as they walk the ship's corridors. On the bridge, the Brikar finds a comm badge. He touches it and the ship begins to power up. Much to their surprise, it's also a universal translator. They understand each other, and the Brikar ain't a big he. He's an 8-year-old girl named Rok-Tahk. Zero sneaks up on them and asks them how they will get the ship out of the cavern.
That whole scene there, I think it was interesting the way they did the camera work on that. Because first off, having a Medusa is pretty significant because no one's really ever seen them, except they would go crazy. So that was a wild thing.
And the Medusans have been in several different episodes before. So this is not the first time we've seen them.
No.
The first time was in the original series, Is There in Truth No Beauty? Which I think was a question on the Will Wheaton after show.
Yeah, it was.
No, I was just going to ask because it was interesting while Patrick was talking, I was interested whether or not, and I don't remember, I should have looked this up, if the Medusan was non-binary in the first episode with Diana.
That's a good question.
Well, we never saw
Moldar.
it, right?
We never saw it, and I don't know if
It
they
was just a
referred
big
to it
shiny
as a
thing.
he. They always said Medusan, I think.
Did they? I don't remember. Yeah, and I need to watch that again because that I've seen it 50 times. I watch it over and over. But now that I have details that I have to study on it because of this, I want to watch it again just to see what that relationship was like between her and the Medusan.
And make sure you get those pronouns right.
Exactly.
It's all one big ploy to get you to rewatch.
Exactly. So yeah, it was.
Now, the one thing I noticed with Rok-Tahk, when Rok-Tahk was there, Rok-Tahk looked very scary. The camera angles was very scary and intimidating, the deep growl and everything else. But it seems like as soon as they got on the ship and activated the translator, they switched up the camera angles and the body language. It was no longer intimidating big. It was kind of like childish. And,
I didn't touch anything.
Yeah, the whole thing. So I was like, wait a minute. They did all of these camera angles. Is it because of the perception of Dal? Did the way Dal interpreted the way, that they looked? Or is just that once somebody could understand them, that their whole body language switched. They didn't have to be this big intimidating thing.
Well, yeah, you don't understand this big rock creature that's, coming at you, and, they could obviously pummel you to bits. So you're going to be a little intimidated, if not, outright scared. But then when you can understand them and find out that it's just an 8-year-old girl, you're like, oh, girl, whatever.
Yeah, but it was pretty...
That's mean.
I think it was definitely his perception for sure.
That's what I was looking at.
That's an interesting point. It's a great point, and it reminds me of in Solo when he meets Chewbacca. Chewbacca is a monster, and then Chewbacca is trying to kill him. He's scared to death of him, and then of course, as we know, as time goes on, Chewbacca is the nicest, kindest person that you would ever meet anywhere, and you would love for him to be your best friend for eternity. And so I kind of felt it was kind of that transition from monster to sweetness. In this case, it happened, as soon as they turned on the translator.
And to our listeners, if you didn't catch that, we switched streams into Star Wars, and we were talking about Han Solo and Chewbacca. And now we will switch streams back into Star Trek.
And please, if you have not watched Star Wars before, Han Solo is not about masturbation. It's about a character that did the Kessler run in 3-point-something.
I'm sure there probably is a porno named Han Solo, but
Heather's perception on Star Wars is a little bit warped for certain reasons.
Well, that's where I learned most of my Star Wars stuff. Was from
she saw the dark one first. Yes.
What's that meme? I must be watching the wrong Star Wars movie.
That's for certain.
No, I just want to say, when they're at the very beginning and he's like hooked up with his buddy, the Rok, I loved it when they're going down the elevator and it's like a roller coaster ride, and the Rok, you see is like you see her little smile. She gets this little smile as they go down, and he's freaking out, and she's like, yay, this is fun.
I love that safety video. Look at all those X's.
Oh, that was pretty cool. That
and
was
then
funny.
Oh no, the buddy system.
Instant recognizable pictogram, which you would use in order not to have to translate. I thought that was pretty cool.
He tried to use the pictogram method, scrawling it all on the rocks. Like, you're going to help me escape. Well, you're going to help me too. And then it draw in there. I thought that was hilarious because he just modified the drawing to include the giant creature standing in front of him that he needs to help him escape.
Like, I'll take you with me if you help me. I don't want to.
I know, he changed that, didn't he? It's we're both leaving.
Yeah, sure, we're both going. It reminds me of an instance where we were hanging out with a bunch of friends, and somebody drew a ginormous cock and balls on the back of my car because it was dirty, it needed washed. I know that.
My.
So they drew it like huge cock and balls on the back of my car. I'm like, what what am I going to do with this now? That was so messed up.
They drew it to actual size.
Yeah, and then like, hold on, don't get too upset, don't get too upset, and then they modified it and put a little thing on it, and then it looked like a dinosaur. Now it's a dinosaur. It actually looked like a dinosaur.
I thought you were going to say they added the balls to it.
No, it came with the balls.
It came with the balls, okay.
Yeah. And then they modified the head, and then it suddenly started to look like a dinosaur, and they put little, fins on the back, and it was kind of cool, actually. But anyway, I just like that idea of you modify the drawing to save the situation.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I love the fact how you got Dal is all excited without thinking. He's got all these crystals that he's going to be rich, wealthy, and a happy miser.
Wealthy miser.
He was about to do the Daffy Duck thing,
But how was he going to sell it?
Yeah.
Exactly. Prison planet.
But I love how he's like, imagine how much money we have. We could buy a ship with this. And then he looks up and there's this ship.
Yeah.
He's like,
right there. I thought that was pretty cool. And they walk in and the inside, no dust, no nothing. It's been
clean.
It's really clean. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's why we need to upgrade to those systems and put those systems on our ship, because we actually have to clean on our ship and the dots don't do a good job.
No, the dots asked me, could they make another dot just to do their work? And it's like, what would you call it? And they said Roomba. It's like, no, that's copyrighted. You can't do that. It's copyrighted. No. So we got to be careful with that. But they get on, and then the Medusa it's like, wait a minute. I thought they were just like a gaseous, wiggly something. How the hell did he make a robot body?
Yeah. It wasn't easy.
Exactly.
Nope.
I was curious about that too. How did he get to the point that he could hold on to something and, make that first thing? So.
What if he projected himself into someone's mind, one of the workers down there, and then he used their hands to make it?
I'm sure that person died if he did that. There's no way you're going to survive it.
Yes, that's why he picked the bully. That's why he picked the biggest asshole of the whole place and used him. And then when the guy died and he was gone, nobody gave a shit and nobody asked questions, and that was that.
And he just moved to the next asshole, and sooner or later, the whole prison player would be nice people.
Yeah.
There's a great scene, I'm skipping genres, in Futurama where Bender's arms fall off. In the very first episode, Bender's arms fall off. And then you see him take his arm, put it on one, and then grab his arm with the other one, put it on the other. And then they go, how did you do that? You know, and it's like, how are you doing this with no arms in the first place? And it's great, and that's what it reminds me of, you know. But yeah, it's fiction. We'll skip it for now. So maybe they'll explain it.
Now, there's a question I have. I'm not sure if it was this section or the next section where they talk about what was the woman's name with the locks. The one that was
Gwen?
questioning him.
The main character.
Gwen. Okay, yeah. They talked about how she could speak all these different languages.
But she can't get cat boots. I mean, cahoots.
Yeah.
But
that
the
was
thing
so
I
is,
love
cute.
that. That was great.
yeah, but the thing that gets me is why did they mention it unless it's going to be some sort of cookie crumb for later on?
Well, I mean, the universal translator doesn't always work.
She's already spoken Caitian. She's already spoken Kazon.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's going to help. That's really going to be helpful.
Yeah, it is. But I think that normally I found what these shows that Star Trek does is a credit to their writer. They never mention a fact that's useless, that sooner or later it's apparent why they mentioned it.
well,
And,
look at Uhura in the J.J. Abrams Star Treks. I mean, there's obviously a universal translator on there, but she can speak all three Romulan dialects. So, you know.
So it's definitely interesting that they brought it out, you know, and with her, I'm just curious about it, you know, and she does seem like they have a good heart. So I can understand why the diviner doesn't want her to know anything about Starfleet principles, because she doesn't want to kill Dal. She didn't want to do anything to him. She just said, talk. I don't want to kill you. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Before we move on, I just want to say real quick, going back to the Medusa character, he built a bot to have a body. But did you guys notice that bot looked very similar to a Portal 2 co-op bot?
Yep.
Between that and the accent of the bot, the British sounding accent.
Yes.
It did feel like a familiar character.
The cake is a lie.
I felt like it was Portal.
The cake is a lie.
If you haven't had a chance to play the Portal games, and I went
so
many years,
much fun.
I went way too many years without playing them. I highly recommend them.
So much fun.
I'm different.
I can't even tell you how many times I beat those games.
It can be frustrating where you have to take a break and then come back and look at it with fresh eyes.
That helps.
It's a very good game. Okay, Pat.
Next section, Act 3.
Woohoo!
Telepathy, thievery, and dumb luck are the way to escape a prison planet.
Say what?
Rok thinks that Zero is a robot based on their containment suit, to which Zero says that they must wear it or corporeal life forms will go mad at their visage. Zero reveals that the Diviner has used them as a weapon, and they can read everyone's mind except for the Diviner. They are especially attuned to Dal because they have the same kind of hope. Can the three of us get this ship out of here, Dal asks. Zero says it will take at least 20 crew, but they need an engineer first and foremost. Dal locates Pog, who is repairing the damage to the loader he stole, and they tell him they found a ship and can escape. Pog loves to argue, so Rok and Dal use reverse psychology to get him to come on board as the engineer. When they get back to the ship, Pog wants to take apart Zero, but Dal reminds him he's here for the ship. Pog says it will take a week. Dal says, can you do it by the end of the day? Rok wants to know why, and Zero tells him that Dal made a deal with Gwen to turn them in. Rok is upset that Dal lied, to which he responds, you can't lie if you can't understand each other. Gwen is telling the Caitian the value of the culture of language when Drednok enters and tells her that Dal is no longer in the crevasse. Back on the ship, Dal is motivating Pog to fix the ship when Rok brings a new crew member aboard, a gelatinous life form that only makes noises that the universal translator can't translate. Rok has named it Murf. Zero senses the Watchers closing in and asks Dal to be the survivor that he is and help them to survive. Rok and Dal head to meet the Watchers and Gwen. Dal takes a bucket of Chimerian crystals and tells Gwen that he was tracking Zero and ran across this. Cool, huh? Drednok is tired of waiting and takes Dal prisoner, sending him to the Outer Rim.
That was really kind of... He goes there, and I know in his mind, it's like, well, this didn't end the way I thought it would. Because he goes there, figures, they're going to be proud because I found all these expensive crystals. Nope. Your ass is going up to the rim up there.
I thought it was more that he was doing that as his way of diversion of, keeping them from entering the ship.
It's possible.
That was my take on it.
Yeah, it's possible. I know he wasn't counting on them sending him to the rim. So that was pretty wild.
When you get rimmed, it's hard.
Well, normally it has to be hard before you can get rimmed, isn't it?
No.
But
my. Yes,
I think it was.
You have to. You can't do that soft.
Well, unless you're Patrick's size and you could just slap it in there soft and then
Do you guys have any idea what rimming is? Rimming is with your mouth.
Yeah, I was not going to say
So there's
it,
nothing
but-
to be hard.
I don't know. Well, the tongue has to be.
No.
Oh, I thought we were talking about like ass fucking.
No.
No.
Okay.
No, just talking about the job of rimming.
Wow.
Gotcha.
I want to apologize to my mother right now. I know you're disappointed in me right now, but these are my friends, and you told me to stick with my friends no matter what. So
Now, it's currently difficult in this current job economy to keep a job, let alone get one. And just offering the job of rimming is, a favor to the world economy, right?
Just a word of a little thing there, Darnell's mom.
Oscar Isaac said he had a bunch of fluffers on Dune, so he might have had a bunch of rimmers too.
Just to let you know, if you notice Darnell's mom, Darnell did not partake in that conversation, so don't be mad at him.
That's a good point. It was all me. Blame it on me.
Darnell didn't get rimmed.
At least not yet.
As a Red Dwarf fan, I suddenly have a sudden appreciation for the character Rimmer.
absolutely.
Transitioning through another genre.
That has a whole new meaning now. Thank you.
Smeghead.
It makes it worth another rewatch.
Smeghead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just Smeg. That's funny. Pog, I thought was kind of cool that they brought that because we've never seen Tellarites really fully fleshed out as Pog was on the show.
Oh, he had the sunglasses, man. Those glasses were so cool.
He
That
looked
was
like he belonged
awesome.
on the set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that
He
was
really did. Yes.
so that was pretty cool.
And then he's like, you're stuck with me. Congratulations.
And I love his what
love
he does,
that.
what we used to do in the military to fix equipment. He was doing impact adjustment.
Percussive maintenance.
Percussive
yes.
maintenance.
We call that percussive maintenance. Sometimes if you just give it a good
Whack.
whack on the side,
It'll
maybe
work.
that'll help.
We had a radio once that we couldn't figure out how it would work. It would only work upside down. We tested everything. We went all the connections and everything. So we went to the senior sergeant there and we said, look, we can't figure out what's wrong with this radio. And he said, well, did you give it the 3-foot bench drop test? It's like, what's that? He picked it up 3 feet, dropped it, and then it would only work on its side, but not upside down and not right side up. So he picked it up and dropped it again, and then it worked right side up the way it's supposed to. He goes, there, it's fixed. Put it back in the radio. Put it back in the vehicle.
That's when you want equipment that's rough and tough and works to military spec. That's what you get.
Hilarious.
So it's like, okay.
Is that the equivalent of turning it off and turning it back on again?
Yeah, with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, with the sledgehammer.
But those were definitely weird. And if you couldn't fix it, it went in the corner and became what we used to call a parts queen. You would just take parts from it to fix other stuff until it was like almost nothing left. And then you send that skeletal remains up to the shop so they can do a total rebuild.
And can we talk about how freaking amazing this ship is?
Oh, that ship is
It is
gorgeous.
so sexy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The lines are just
Gorgeous.
curves. Oh, beautiful.
Have we ever seen that
yeah.
class before?
No.
I don't think so. I love how it turned on.
It's an experimental ship, but did you notice that there were stairs?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
No, really?
There were stairs leading up to the bridge. Yeah.
Wow.
Not a turbo lift. There were stairs.
Wow.
It was really interesting. I figured it had to be experimental, but I didn't see the X end on the nacelle. On the hull.
Yeah, you're right on the name. And it also had that third nacelle, that was triple nacelle look to it. That was pretty slick.
Pretty damn cool. It reminded me a little bit of the Prometheus. But it looked really nice.
Without the alien.
Yeah, so you get the other Prometheus.
Which one?
The one in was it the one with where they had the guy
with Andy Dick?
Yeah, with Andy Dick.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the other Prometheus.
That's the one where they sent the doctor back over the network over and ended up on the Alpha Quadrant on this completely state-of-the-art ship where all the crew was killed and Romulans were running the place, and he can only talk with the only other hologram on the ship.
And just FYI, the ship is the USS Protostar. Its registry is NX78.
Okay, good. So there is an NX. Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay. It's a
All
Federation
experimental-
starship launched in the late 24th century.
Yeah,
That's
because
official.
all experimental starships have the NX nomenclature in front of it.
Speaking of Alien real quick, those little minions for the enemy, they sort of reminded me of like alien predator babies.
Yeah.
The Watchers?
Yeah, kinda.
Those
The
little,
little robots?
yeah.
It reminds you of face huggers? Is that what you mean? The face huggers?
Yes, because it looked like a face hugger, but it had like the predator armor.
I'd have to look at it again. Now I'm going
interesting.
to watching this again. I've got all this information that I'm going to absorb from you guys. This is great.
Well, I thought it was interesting. Dahl called one of them tripod, and then the next shot they're walking down the hallway, and I'm like, they've got 4 legs. They don't have 3 legs. Why is he calling them a tripod?
And look
Oh,
at
good
Drednok. He
point.
becomes Doc Ock.
Drednok is badass. I'm really
Right?
afraid of that robot. That
Yeah,
one
he-
scares me a little.
Totally Dr. Octopus.
Talking about crossing streams, he reminded me
Right.
of the Star Wars evil guy that would do that
Ooh,
4-wheel
Grievous?
lightsabers.
Grievous, yeah,
General
Grievous.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
You know.
scary.
Looking at this now with the whatever that little creature that is like a gloop or whatever that thing. What is that thing called?
Murf.
Murf.
Okay.
It's Murf.
So
That was so cute.
it's very cute, but the reason I said gloop and gleep is because it reminds me of the Herculoids. We got 2 characters.
that's
We
right.
got 2 characters from the Herculoids right now. We got Egu, the rock guy, and then we got Gloop. That is the whatever that thing is called. And
Oh my God.
or
That means that the ship is a pterodactyl.
or it could be going Fantastic Four because Sue kind of does that thing with her force fields. She kind of does
There you
that.
go.
And when I first saw whatever the rock thing called, I thought Ben Grimm. That's the very first thing I thought was Ben
yeah,
Grimm.
totally.
So
I was trying really, really hard throughout this whole episode not to call Rok-Tahk Rocky. Sorry, Rocky.
That's okay. Well, somebody said Rocky at one point. Like,
You-
move out of
they
the way,
did?
Rocky,
Really?
or whatever. Yeah, it was in one of the lines.
They did call her Rocky.
okay, there. Yeah, it said back off, Rocky. It's like,
That's awesome. So now you officially have a Star Trek character named after you.
well, not officially, but yeah.
I think it's official. We officially should name it. Say it is. So.
We should officially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Named after an 8-year-old girl creature.
We're going to celebrate Rocky
Well, you'll
Day
just
now.
need to raise your voice a little, a couple octaves.
just a few octaves, sure.
Ooh, try. Give it a try.
Yeah, do what you did last time and don't adjust yourself right and then sit on your dick. And then your voice goes up right off the bat.
That'll do it.
There's
didn't touch anything.
There's an effect that I can do that too. I can raise my voice electronically. And see
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. And it looks like for some reason, Drednok is really interested in Dahl. It's like Dahl is a special project. And he comes into Gwen and is like, isn't she supposed to be in this area? And she's like, well, he is. Why isn't he not then? And she's like, wait,
because
what?
Drednok is just going off the diviner's information, and the diviner believes that Dahl is in, cat boots with Zero.
Yeah, this is just a lot
Cat
of
boots.
obsession with Dahl, and there's a lot of obsession going on. And for some reason, they really want to hold on to Gwen as well. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I get the obsession with Gwen, but I think with Dahl, it's more like a really annoying insect or gnat that is in their way, and they're just trying to get it out of their way.
He taxes me, and I must have him. So
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. Okay, good point.
I think it was pretty cool. And I also like the fact they have something on the ship, which is an onion, because you're going to peel back layers and find out what Murf is all about, since they can't translate it. It's obvious Murf understands what's going on.
Murf was great. Twitter loves Murf. Somebody on Twitter said, "Is Murf was what looks like when you shave a tribble?" And then somebody photoshopped somebody about to shave a triddle, and then put Murf's head in the shot of the Photoshop. So people on Twitter are bananas. I love them so much, but I don't think officially Murf is a tribble. I think Murf is something different.
Yeah,
I
Murf
agree.
is like slime, but I love it when Murf burped. That was
Yes.
perfect.
Murf burp.
Murf burped.
That was pretty cool. But now I guess we should move on to The Great Escape.
Okay. Act 4.
Oh, Steve McQueen.
That was another good movie.
Yeah, good movie.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's not what we're discussing here. So,
Oh, okay. Dirty
Act
Dozen?
4 No.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Close, but no cigar. So, Act 4, to new friends and adventures. There's coffee in that nebula. Gwen, at the behest of Drednok, arranges Dahl's escape from the Outer Rim. Dal reminds her of the window of dreams, a star cluster she will never see. Dal runs right back to the ship, unaware his escape was a trap. Pog says the ship will fly, but they don't have any shields. Dal goes out to fix the shields and sees Gwen. Dal invites Gwen to join them, but it's too late. All the Watchers in Drednok close in. He led them right to the Protostar, an experimental ship. Gwen goes aboard to make sure there aren't any more unwanted. Dal tries to tell Zero his plan, and Pog is in on it 100%. They start to battle the Watchers and run back towards the ship. Gwen's tattoo becomes a sword. How cool is that? The Watchers fire on the ship, but the Diviner tells them to stop because it's going to cause the crystals to collapse, sending the ship off a cliff. Zero gets the ship going, and Dal works on the shields to avoid getting killed by Drednok. As they're making their escape, Drednok attacks, but Dal gets the shields back up just as he pounces on him. The rest of the crew have Gwen strapped to the captain's chair. The ship heads up a drainage portal towards the surface.
I thought you said shit.
I did too.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
The shit heads up a drainage portal. No, the ship heads up a drainage portal towards the surface. Dal gets the shields up, and Drednok tries to jump on him, but the shields prevent him. Bye, sucker. But Drednok ain't done yet. He fires past the ship, causing some of the drainage portal to collapse, heading straight for the ship. Dal says to find the controls to the fire, hit them all until they go pew pew. Murf finds the phasers, and they blast their way clear. Out into the vastness of space, Gwen is floored by what she sees. At the mention of the word help, Hologram Janeway comes online. Drednok reports back to the Diviner, who is pissed that his ship got away.
That whole action sequence was just that, a lot of action sequence that went on. One of the things we showed that Murf understands what's going on when he said hit them all. What's the best way to hit every single fucking button is by
lay your gelatinous ass across the control console.
And it kind of figured out that was the right console to do it on, and then everything is going.
The phasers lit up like a disco.
I know, and it was hitting everything. It was multi-targeting.
Pew pew.
They didn't have to target. It just automatically did target acquisition to whatever was a threat to the ship, which I thought was really friggin' cool right there too. So that was cool.
Know, it's an experimental ship, so hello.
They finally found the autopilot button.
Yeah, and also, there was no inertial dampeners. So that apparently didn't come online, or they were maneuvering too quick in order for the inertial dampeners really to take hold, because they were kind of swinging all over the place. Also, Rocky, that thing that Gwen had on her arm, I want that.
I'll put an order in for that, sir.
You know what?
That was
I
so
want
cool.
that.
There's an issue with shipping containers and ships, apparently. You have to wait for that.
That's
now,
true.
Patrick just said it was a tattoo, and I thought it was a tattoo at first as well. Now I'm curious, is it a tattoo? Is it
It was an ornament.
Or is it an ornament? Exactly.
Yeah, it was an ornament, I think.
Organic matter.
Yeah,
it was some sort of
discovery.
I think it could be both. I think it could. We'll find out. Maybe next episode they'll say it's actually just something hanging around her arm. But I think it would be really cool if it's actually a tattoo that changes into and it changes into a weapon. Well,
if I was there, I would be hanging on her arm. So there's that. It was really, that thing was cool. Yeah. I like the fact how it went up and down, and also it shows that Rok-Tahk is a very accomplished fighter, because it was holding her own against Gwen.
Yeah.
Well, when your whole body's a rock, it's not hard to fight off some,
Yeah, but the reflexes and everything, it was able to block blows and dodge out of the way. And
when they said that song, she's a brick house, I don't think they meant that specifically.
She's a brick.
She's a brick.
Mighty
house.
It was about Rok-Tahk.
Just let that ow.
Yeah.
Shake it down.
Yeah.
She's sitting there and she's kicking ass, and she's just like totally kicking the ass out of everyone. And the portal bot is like, no, wait, I surrender. No, I surrender.
That was pretty cool.
And Zero gets her ass kicked over.
Yeah.
When the ship was leaving, it just gave me a quick flash of Galaxy Quest when they're shaking their head to the left and telling it, the ship's trying to fly out of the portal and out of the gate.
That was funny.
And it's just like that way. It kind of gave me that memory of, is it going to make it out of there?
Oh, that was funny.
What did they have Gwen strapped to the captain's chair with?
I don't know.
Some kind of energy bands.
But what was kind of funny and it made me laugh, I have to say, is when Dal was making the faces to talk telepathically.
Yeah, that was great. It's like, oh, he's making faces, but I'm just ignoring it.
Like, in order to talk telepathically, you have to make these weird faces. You can't just think it. You have to make these weird faces.
I'm just going to ignore him.
And he's like, why are you doing that? What are you doing?
He's telepathically telling me that we need to turn the ship upside down.
That was so awesome.
That was funny. That was really, and he learned that he could talk telepathically with the Medusa. So that was interesting as well. Another breadcrumb.
Oh yeah, very good piece of information there. Yeah, but the comical aspects of it, I love they're dripping those in here because that's the part of the show that it definitely feels like it's aimed towards the kids part of the thing, but it's just funny as an adult. That's just hilarious.
I'm betting money that the Caitian is going to be on that ship somewhere.
Cation, not
The
Cacation.
Caitian.
No, they left her. I was so upset.
Cacation is what you take on Ryza.
Yeah, I got a feeling
never mind.
that the Caitian will be on board the vessel because they made a big show
Cation.
about, well, the cat woman,
I thought
child.
because they left the cat girl.
But they
the
made
cat,
such
she
a
was
big
left
thing
on there.
about her. They made such a big thing about her, and she was so attached. It wouldn't surprise me that she snuck on board the ship.
Yeah, she was a little too cute just to not be a little bit part of the show.
to be
They gotta
a
bring her back
one
in.
shot.
When the ship is leaving the planet, you see the cat girl like on the planet looking up, watching the ship leaving.
Yeah, I was
I didn't notice
I
that.
was very upset by that. But I think when I can't think of their name, but the one they have tied up decides that she's going to be a part of the crew eventually.
Gwen.
She's going to say, "Okay, we have to go back and get the cat girl." And I think that's going to be something that happens. I agree with Nathan. It's too cute a
She's like-
person not to have on the show. So.
I left my pussy out the planet.
Once again, Mrs. Davis. Once again, Mrs. Davis, your son did not make that
I did
joke, so
not.
don't be mad at him.
I thought Heather was going to make that joke, so I didn't say it.
No, I was thinking they should do like a snatch and grab and like go by the planet and teleport the cat back up, like if they knew how to do that.
Yeah.
There goes snatch
hey.
a pussy.
Yes, snatch a pussy. Exactly. Yes.
In my head canon, I've already named the cat. Her name is Meow Purr.
Oh.
So
That's
they got to go
stupid.
pick up Meow Purr. No, it's not. So
was
it's
purring,
just
though.
as stupid as somebody who's gay saying they want to go and snatch a pussy. Okay, it ain't happening.
Oh God.
So, but it was really cool. It was a lot of action. First off, talk about nick of time. He was able to get that energy thing for the shields just as that mofo was coming down and going to spear him through the head.
Yeah.
So that was.
He's like, bye, sucker.
Yeah, that was funny. And then he bounces off in the cell. It's like,
Yeah.
That bothered me a little bit. Did he have on boots? Why was he able to stick on the ship? That I was like,
He was under the shield.
no, not
He was under the
not
shield.
not before he put on the shields. When he was just on the ship and the ship was moving, did he have on some kind of boots that were sticking?
no, he was sliding all over the place. So I guess working in the mines all that time, you build up really like parkour strength. You know, so that's how come he was able to do it, kind of like a rock climber. So
So we don't know what species Dal is, but we know he's got mad parkour
He's got skills.
Yeah, there you
He's
go.
got skills.
He's got skills.
and nobody knows what species he is, and that's the problem. You know, you figured a prison planet would have had every species, but this kid, they don't know what the hell he
You know,
is.
when I first saw him, I thought he was a girl for the first, couple
Yep.
of minutes. I didn't realize it until they made it clear that he was a guy. So
But we've also got the interesting fact that Gwen and her dad Solemn are the last of their kind.
I didn't notice that
yeah,
either.
but that was that last part. But he didn't look like Gwen.
I liked what they were communicating, though. They kind of had a glow to each other. They were both glowing. Their face lines were glowing when they were talking.
And Darnell's earlier thing about matter conversion, what do you say about being able to transform matter? Because Drednok was able to turn his hands and everything into a big, massive phallic symbol gun.
Right.
And to be able to shoot at the exit, because it's like, oh my God, this guy's like a transformer more than he is the eye.
Needs the eye.
You know?
The level of action adventure in this show is at 11. I mean, there's so much to watch. It's very dense. And they also threw 2 episodes at us. So that's the other thing.
That was a lot. Yeah.
So it was like watching a massive action movie. It was only 46 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed at how good all this wonderful action is. I mean, this was as much fun as watching, like, you want to talk about children's shows. I mean, the Goonies, it felt like that kind of action adventure.
Yeah,
maybe not quite as much mystery, but, you know, I was just loving the spirit of the show.
This is what you can do with, I was just saying, this is what you can do with animation. Otherwise, you know, if you want to have people sitting around talking about, you know, theories in front of a table, why do that when you can have them doing all this amazing action that we all dream about and wish we could see on our show? Because even today, with all the CGI, we can't get everything that we want without spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. But on an animation, they can do it, and this is what makes this great.
But they still have some art to it as well.
Exactly.
You had some of the shots that you had the mirror shot just for just a moment when he was the first scene. He's running away in that loader thing that wouldn't fly, but he thought he was going to jump that sucker in the sky anyway. There was a shot where he was looking in the mirror, and that's a cool reflection shot.
Yep.
There was a shot where the ship went through a waterfall.
Yep.
It was gorgeous.
That
and
was
you look
gorgeous.
at all the workers; they're trying to keep these workers down. I mean, they're trying to. The only one's got hope is Dal. So when he does that, when they fly that ship through the waterfall like that, that's inspirational. So they're gonna have a little revolt.
And all the people cheered.
Everybody was.
All the people was cheering.
They all were clapping. They were like, "Yes, do it. Get out of here, man. You can do it."
Now, with the animation, what I really also liked is that how they were able to successfully portray emotion, because when they finally made it out to space, they did a tight view on Gwen's face, and you saw the way her eyes and pupils dilated when she saw the stars for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, you could see she was godsmacked when she saw that.
She got a boner.
Yeah, she got a lady boner when she saw it. So I thought that part was really.
I wonder if we're going to
cool.
see any more Decepticons aside from Drednok.
This might be. Who knows? The show.
I mean,
like
is he the only Decepticon on the planet, or are there more?
Well, they're going to probably send more out there. So.
First of all, two things. Is the Decepticon the villain, like the super villain at the end? Okay, real quick on him. Did you guys notice that Q scar on his shoulder?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the Diviner, the guy with the.
Oh, is that who I'm talking about?
The Decepticon Drednok is the robot one who had the big gun for the hand.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The one at the end who says, "Get my ship back." That's Gwen's dad, Solemn.
So Gwen's dad is the one with the Q.
And apparently he can't leave because he's hooked up to shit.
He can't leave because we finally found out who QAnon is. We know who Q is.
Oh, that's true. He's hiding.
He's right there.
He's in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
He got Trump elected from the Delta Quadrant.
Wow.
So my other point was in my head, like my head canon, and I'm pretty sure that this is not right at all, but in my head I was thinking the reason why they did the animation was because they asked Kate Mulgrew to come back, and she's like, "Fuck you," and they're like, "Well, what if we did animation so you could stay at home in your pajamas and just do voice?" Okay.
They probably did it. She's like, "Look at me. I can't fit this uniform. I'm older now."
She's like, "I don't want to do that. Makeup and everything."
I just thought it was just this. I think we kind of gloss over how amazing it is just to have her on the show.
Totally.
Oh, man.
I had a big old smile when she came on.
I get chills.
Yeah.
I get chills when she appeared.
I'm so happy she's on.
Yeah.
When you watch the after show with Will Wheaton, he had an interview with her, and that really brings out all of the feels of having Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah.
And the reason we feel this way about having Kate Mulgrew on this show, because she is representing a whole lot to a brand new audience. And that's what's wonderful about this.
I was more excited seeing her in this than I think I was in so many of the episodes in Voyager, because this, for me, seems like, wow, what if they had the technology and the availability to do some of this stuff that they did in this cartoon in Voyager? And now we can see, a whole new experience of teaching these young kids about what the Starfleet way is, which it seems like that's going to be the show. Every time they go someplace, it's probably going to be, okay, this is how we do things in Starfleet, and get them to understand what Starfleet is, and have Janeway be the person that is telling them how to do it. It's just, I'm very excited about it.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Okay, we're going to start wrapping up here because we have to get our computer guys got to take care of something. However, I am going to ask you, Patrick, before you go, what's the name of the next show? And don't say you don't know.
I believe it's called Starstruck.
And you believed correctly. So next week, that's the homework. Make sure you watch. It's going to be episode 3. because this was a two-parter. So it's on Paramount Plus, and if you don't have it, well, why not? So just go ahead and get it. Please remember to support our show by watching on our live broadcast, which may or may not be on Monday. So the best way to find out is look for Starfleet Underground on YouTube, find it, click on that notification, and follow. So this way, when it goes live, you'll be able to tell.
Did you say notify a Cation?
Notifies us occasion. So we're across multiple platforms. You can hear us on SoundCloud. You can also hear us on Apple as well. So just go ahead and look at it. We want to also thank Darnell for bringing us back. Got a question before we transport you back. Do you want to be back in the shower or another location?
I'm keeping the robe, the towel, the T-shirt you gave me. You can, if I have a very nice chair in my living room, you can send me there because I don't want to get the stuff wet yet. So that's very nice. Though.
Hey, Doc, why don't you go ahead and give him our branded flip-flops?
Oh, dude.
Go ahead and send that over to him. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you there. And Patrick, we're going to get him far enough away on sensor range so he can't watch if you drop the soap, because that's his high point. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in for us. And just make sure you just don't have a great week. But wait. Stopping. Heather, rating.
Oh, we didn't do ratings.
Yep. What would you give it?
Oh, geez. I would give this probably an 8. I really liked this a lot. I was surprised how good it was because I was expecting it to be a kid's show that wasn't really that good. And it's one of those kids shows that I really enjoyed watching, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
How about you, Pat?
I'm going to give it a 9er.
Ooh, all 9, huh?
All 9
centimeters. Outstanding. And how about you, Rocky?
I'm giving it a 2. 2 thumbs up.
Oh,
wow.
Snap.
Trixie.
Rocky's getting all shady.
Wow.
I'm going to watch it a third time because it was so good. And I still think I missed stuff. It was blown by me so quick.
And
was
3 thumbs up.
I have to get a third time.
It was. And Darnell, before we transport you back, what would you give it?
I'd give it a 9.5. I really enjoyed it. Just like Heather, I thought it was just going to be a kid's show. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I was like, why are they putting Janeway in this kiddie show that I'm not going to enjoy? Blew all that away in the first episode. I'm loving it. So I'm in.
And remember, Chakotay is going to be on too.
I know. So that'll be interesting.
Seriously?
Yeah, I did see that as well. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Robert Beltran will be boarding the Protostar.
What scares me is that this started off such on a good leg. I'm kind of hopeful that it's not going to disappoint later on, because I am giving it as an equal on the last couple of lower decks that we saw. So I'm giving this a 9 as well.
But if you watch the after show, the Hageman brothers said that they started this out as a show where these crew people, they know nothing of Starfleet. And so the viewers know nothing of Starfleet. So they have a lot of room to like make mistakes and learn and grow. And it's going to be really interesting, I think. It's
going to be like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, except Starfleet, which is going to teach them lessons.
Mr. Starfleet's Neighborhood?
Yeah, it's going to teach them lessons and everything like that. So I think that's pretty cool.
And just one more thing, what I was going to say, that was my problem with Lower Decks, is that I felt that they weren't acting like Starfleet at the beginning. I grew to love the show, but at first I had that problem. With this, they don't know anything, so I can give them as much leeway as possible because they don't know how to act like Star Trek. They will learn that. And I think that's going to be something
that's
great.
Going to be I agree. It's going to be amazing. Thanks, everyone, for joining in and for listening to us. Please remember to support us on Patreon. If you haven't, you're a cheap bastard. So there's that. Because our lowest rung is only $1. And if you compute that divided by 30 days, it's like negligible how much you're putting out a day. You can't do that.
I mean, don't you want to be in cat boots with us?
I'm serious. Be in cat boots. So remember, you guys just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.